In today's segment, we delve into China's fascinating penchant for replicating iconic structures from around the world. China has never shied away from mimicking well-known creations, innovations, or architectural masterpieces. From the Leaning Tower of Pisa in Shanghai, scaled at 1:4, to a full-sized Sphinx in Hebei province, and even statues reminiscent of Easter Island, China's landscape is dotted with these impressive replicas. Remarkably, you can even find multiple versions of the White House across China. These Chinese versions often blend elements of the south side of the White House with the Capitol building, though they're commonly referred to as the White House. What might surprise you is the variety of purposes these buildings serve. Take the People's Court building of Minhang District in Shanghai, completed and operational in 1998. Or consider the Government Office building in Yinghuan District, Fuyang, Anhui Province, inspired by the White House and the Capitol building. As reported by the BBC, this building cost approximately 30 million yuan, about $4.14 million. It was later revealed that Zhang Jian, the former secretary of Yinghuan District, had used bribes to fund its construction. In 2010, Zhang was sentenced to death for soliciting or accepting bribes totaling over 3.6 million yuan, about $498,000. These replicas aren't limited to government buildings. Commercial buildings, hotels, theme parks, schools, and even private mansions adopt the White House style. The Wuhan Commerce and Trade Vocational College in Hubei Province, completed in 2005, and the Lijiang Pearl Hotel in Panyu, Guangzhou, opened in 1995, are prime examples. The Window of the World theme park in Shenzhen has been operational since 1993 and also features a White House-style building. According to Dayu News, a White House replica originally belonging to Beijing Jili University was moved to Chengdu, Sichuan, at the end of 2019. This campus became the Chongping campus of Peking University, which eventually decided to modify the building. In Hainan, farmer Su Ning, known online as the White House Farmer, built his villa on a hillside in the style of the Capitol building. Completed in 2008, this unique home has become a local landmark. While it's unclear if Su's villa violated any planning regulations, other mansions have not been as fortunate. The Telegraph reported that a wealthy Chinese man's White House replica in Shaoxing, Zhejiang Province, was demolished in early 2014 for violating planning regulations. This mansion, built in 2013, was located in a residential neighborhood popular with affluent entrepreneurs and Communist Party cadres. A local resident remarked, if the owners didn't have connections, they wouldn't dare build these illegal constructions, would they? In another unique twist, even a Chinese public toilet resembles the White House. As the Wall Street Journal reported, this 418 square meter, or 4,500 square foot, toilet was constructed by Anhui Golden Seed Winery Company at $144,000. The building drew criticism for its expense, but a company executive emphasized its practical function over its luxurious appearance. In a rather unusual twist on architectural mimicry, this public toilet in China has garnered international attention for its striking resemblance to iconic American landmarks. As reported by the Wall Street Journal, this 418 square meter, or 4,500 square foot, facility combines design elements from the White House and the Capitol building. The elaborate design sparked immediate criticism, with many questioning the necessity and cost of such a project. Critics labeled the expense as wasteful. However, an executive from the winery defended the decision in an interview with China Daily, stating, "We wanted to make the building a little special in appearance, but more importantly, we emphasize its function as a toilet, so the interior decoration is not as luxurious as some people imagine." Now, we delve into the complex landscape of counterfeit goods in China, which is shaped by two critical factors. First, we examine the aftermath of the Cultural Revolution, which drastically influenced China's economic policies. In the late 1970s, China was largely a poor nation, where bicycles crowded the roads and televisions echoed the government's official narrative. Mao Zedong's death in 1976 marked the end of the brutal Cultural Revolution, during which the pursuit of wealth was often seen as a crime. Communist slogans from that era, such as "to cut off the tail of capitalism" and "the poorer you are, the more glorious you get," painted a stark picture. Even farmers selling fresh eggs were labeled as capitalists and faced persecution. Those with Western education were also targets of scorn. However, a significant shift occurred in 1979 when Deng Xiaoping opened certain areas in Guangdong province as special economic zones. This groundbreaking decision allowed for Western-style business practices and encouraged foreign investment, marking the first steps toward a market economy. As foreign investment poured in, the Chinese government began to promote enrichment through privileges. For instance, in 2006, authorities in Jiangsu province announced that significant taxpayers could influence the promotion or dismissal of officials. Companies paying over $375,000 in annual taxes were granted special privileges. In some cases, wealthy entrepreneurs even received exemptions from the one-child policy by aligning with ethnic minorities or rural families. The pursuit of wealth became a driving force, and many sought to emulate the success of the first entrepreneurs, often marginalized individuals with little to lose. According to the Washington Post, from 1978 to the mid-1980s, many early entrepreneurs came from the lower classes and occasionally included criminals. With scant resources, they often resorted to smuggling goods like clothing and electronics to establish their businesses. As China opened its doors to international companies attracted by low wages, it became known as the world's factory. With years of experience serving global brands, Chinese factories gained the expertise to replicate nearly anything. This blend of government promotion and a conducive environment for copying led to the rise of a billion-dollar counterfeiting industry. A report from Europol reveals that in 2015, mainland China and Hong Kong were responsible for an astonishing 86% of counterfeit goods produced worldwide, valued at nearly $400 billion. The following reason is the complex relationship between this industry and organized crime. As reported by Dashua Consulting, while Chinese regulators conduct routine checks on physical stores, the effectiveness of these enforcement efforts remains questionable. Many small stalls selling counterfeit items go unchecked, and fake marketplaces are openly accessible in cities like Shanghai and Beijing. These locations are even reviewed on popular websites like TripAdvisor. Adding to the challenge, China lacks laws that punish buyers of counterfeit goods, unlike many other countries where purchasing fake items is a punishable offense. Furthermore, the penalties for selling counterfeit products are also weak. In February 2017, Alibaba reported 1,910 cases of suspected counterfeiting to the authorities, but only 129 individuals were found guilty. So, why are Chinese authorities seemingly negligent in addressing this issue? The answer may lie in understanding who benefits from the counterfeit industry. Alain Rodier, author of The Triads, The Hidden Threat, asserts that the counterfeiting trade is closely tied to Chinese triads, transnational organized crime syndicates that engage in domestic and international illicit activities. Rodier estimates that these triads generate around $200 billion annually, much of which is funneled back into the legal economy, effectively laundering their profits. Notably, the Sun Yi'an triad is believed to have played a significant role in developing Shenzhen, a hub for cheap knockoffs. There are also indications that the Chinese government has a complicated relationship with these criminal organizations. According to the New York Times, before Britain's handover of Hong Kong in 1997, mainland authorities sought to ally with triad members. The government aimed to curb support for pro-democracy protests and maintain stability during this sensitive transition. During a visit to Hong Kong in 1992, Tao Siju, China's chief law enforcement officer, stated, "Members of triads are not always gangsters. As long as they are patriots, concerned with maintaining the prosperity of Hong Kong, we should respect them." The rapid growth of the counterfeit phenomenon in China has been particularly notable since the early 1990s.